Hi YouTube. In this video I'll be covering my top 5 4 stars that are actually viable in the game, whether it be early game or late game. Just as a little disclaimer, the 4 stars that I'll be covering in this video are universally viable, meaning they can be used in any team, which I'll explain later on. So with that being said, let's get on to the video. As the number 5 we have Lynx. So why Lynx over Gallagher? It's simple. Gallagher is obviously maybe healing wise even stronger than Lynx, but there's a few reasons why Lynx is better. Number one, she scales off max HP on pretty much every ability. So what does this mean? This means that you can build a lot of HP on her and she will basically be unkillable. Unlike Gallagher, who builds break effect and attack, he is more vulnerable to gain one shot or dying. Whereas Lynx, who would have around 6000 HP, won't be able to die that easily. So you can focus more on healing your allies than the Abundance character itself. Second point is that Lynx has an ultimate that cleanses your allies. Gallagher does not do this. Instead, Gallagher has, I believe, Eve 2 has a debuff remover on his skill, which is a one target only. Lastly, even though Lynx is kind of unkillable with a lot of HP, she also has a crowd resist debuff by 35%. This is almost similar to Luocha, who has 70%. But what this essentially means is if you build a bit more effect res, she will not be able to be silenced or stunned or any of the sort. So you don't have to worry about her dying or your teammates dying because she'll be able to heal anyway. So yeah, at the end of the day, just build max HP on her and a bit of effect res. As the number 4, we have Asta. Now, sadly, this is one of the characters that has fallen off since its release. But nevertheless, as a beginner, she should still be healthy. Now, what's the reasoning to use her? There's only one reasoning. Is her ultimate. So at level 10, her ultimate increases speed of all allies by 50, not by 36. Now, you realize her value later on in the game because you start to, after doing MOC and Pure Fiction, you start to really realize that the game is a turn-based game. And the faster your characters are, the more actions your characters take during a turn, the better the characters are. So essentially what her ultimate does is give her allies 50 speed, meaning that they can attack again in that turn. Now, why does she fall off later on? Simple. Ever since the start of the game, people have been able to build characters, especially harmony characters, with over 170 speed, which is an enormous amount. Is outrageous, to be fair. But once you get to that sort of level, are you really going to, let's say, substitute a Bronia or a Sparkle that has 170 plus speed with an Asta that only gives you 50 speed for 2 turns? Realistically, no. You much prefer the Bronia and the Sparkle, who also give crit damage and attack. So yeah, that's all for her. Realistically, all you want to build on her is speed, mainly speed, and she will be good early game because your characters will most likely not have that much speed. But do understand that the more you play the game, the more relics you get, the more speed relics you get, especially she will start to fall off and you'll see better harmony character options. For our number 3, we have Herta. I don't really need to say much about her. There's only one reason I think some of you guys will probably know, but it's because of Pure Fiction. Realistically, you only care about her talent, which is a follow-up attack. She will follow attack whenever the enemy is 50% HP or below. This also means that she can break bosses' toughness faster and so on. She's one of the characters that somehow went from D tier to S plus just because of an addition of a new game mode. But yeah, there's not much to be said about her. Her best light cone is probably her own light cone, which applies buffs to her own follow-up attacks. Other than that, yeah, I mean, all you need to build is crit damage, crit rate. Speed doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, it's her talent that you want to proc. That's all. Now, as our second character, we have Pela. So Pela is very simple. She is quite literally busted for a 4-star. I don't know how these 4-star characters, the top 2 that I'm going to show you, have even been released as 4-star characters, but sure. So initially we have her skill, which removes one buff from the enemy that you hit with. Now the thing with Pela is that once you use her skill, she immediately gets her ult. She's way too energy efficient, which is abnormally crazy. And you can see here because of her talent, which helps with her regen. Now there was only one reason, and one reason only why people run her, and it's because of her ultimate is a 40% defense threat around level 10. This is really useful on killing enemies. You start doing abnormal amount of damage. Honestly, the amount of times you can proc her ult efficiently, quickly is insane. She has too much value with this goddamn kid. I might be honest. Now, for our best 4-star character in the game, I'm certain about this, is Tingyun. She's a harmony character, meaning a buffer. She has something very unique. So, her ultimate generates 50 energy for a character that you choose, which means that your DPS that you probably will choose will be much closer to their ultimate than before. Secondly, the skill allows your target ally to gain attack, and it's pretty much limited to Tingyun's attack herself. She's a simple buffer. The more speed you have on her, excellent. I do recommend 134 or 143 speed, and honestly it's doable because normal stats are around 111 or something, so realistically you need just one boot with 25 speed. That is honestly doable. I do want to see what the other traces have. Oh, she immediately generates 5 energy at the start of a turn. Incredible. Oh yeah, there is her technique, which gives her 50 energy when using it. So you can use her technique 2 times and then she'll be ready to use her ult. Is there anything else I'm missing? Speed, not bad, sure. Basic attack doesn't really matter. I do want to see her Eidolons though. She's one of the only characters, yeah, insane. Ultimate regenerates 10 more energy for the target ally. So you're essentially getting 65 energy value on the first turn, which is incredible. God damn, that's like outrageous. For a 4-star, why is she doing that? Like, why? Probably the only 4-star character you should be looking to E6. Like, this is incredible. At E1, she gives speed to the DPS. Like, it's actually incredible. At 5 energy after defeating an enemy, like, she's so energy efficient. It is insane. It is crazy. Honestly, she can probably compete with Bronya, if I'm being completely honest. But realistically, would you rather have Bronya over Tingyun? Yes. The other way around? No. But yeah, that's just how the game works. 5 stars. You know how it works. And that's that. So yeah, that's my top 5 recommended 4 stars in the game right now. I did make sure to be as unbiased as possible. Some of the characters, I mean, are just broken in a sense where they should be a 5-star, but they're not. And the only exception I would make probably in this list is probably put Gallagher around Lynx, but again, as I said, I do think survivability wise, Lynx would be better. But yeah, like and subscribe to the video. Let me know if anything is wrong with the list. I say you could argue about the positioning of the characters in the list, but characters wise themselves, I do think these are the top 5 if I'm being honest. So yeah, see ya.